A homeless boy gives his only blanket to a dying alien girl. Next day 200 aliens arrived. Best HFY. The boy slept beside the old spaceport wall, where broken lights flickered and cold wind moved through empty metal halls. His name was Eli, and he had lived on the streets for a long time. No one knew how long. People passed him every day, stepping around him like he was part of the ground. He was thin, quiet, and careful. He had learned early that the city did not care. Night was the hardest time. The city grew quiet, and the cold came out like a living thing. Eli owned very little. A small bag with a bottle, some old bread, and one blanket. The blanket was gray and torn, but it was the only thing that kept him warm. He wrapped it around himself and tried to sleep while distant ships hummed above the spaceport. That night felt different. The air felt heavy, like the sky was holding its breath. Eli woke up because of a soft sound, not loud, not sharp, but weak. It sounded like someone trying not to cry. He sat up slowly and looked around. The sound came from behind a stack of broken cargo crates near the edge of the landing zone. Eli stood up. He should have stayed where he was. He knew that. The spaceport was dangerous at night. Security drones moved without warning. Strange people hid in dark corners. But something pulled him forward. He walked carefully and looked behind the crates. There, lying on the cold metal ground, was a girl. At least she looked like a girl. Her body was slim and small. Her skin was pale but not human pale. It had a soft blue light under it, like moonlight trapped inside. Her clothes were torn and burned in places. One of her arms was bleeding, but the blood shimmered like silver. Her eyes were closed and her breathing was slow and shallow. Eli froze. He had seen strange things before. The city was close to space. Aliens passed through sometimes. Most stayed hidden or protected by guards. This girl had no guards, no ship nearby. She looked alone. She opened her eyes. They were large and dark, and when they met Eli's gaze, fear flashed across her face. She tried to move, but pain stopped her. A weak sound escaped her throat. Eli raised his hand slowly. "It's okay," he said softly. "I won't hurt you." He did not know if she understood his words, but his voice was calm. He had learned that calm voices sometimes made people less afraid. The girl watched him closely. Her chest rose and fell with effort. She looked around, then back at him, as if searching for danger. Eli looked past her, scanning the spaceport. No drones nearby, no lights moving. The night was still. He knelt down, careful not to scare her. "You're hurt," he said. "You're going to freeze out here." She tried to speak, but no sound came out. Her lips moved slightly and her eyes flickered. Eli felt the cold more now. The metal ground sucked warmth away. He looked at his blanket. It was the only thing he owned that mattered. He hesitated. If he gave it to her, he would have nothing. The night was far from over. The wind was already biting. He had survived many cold nights, but not all nights were the same. Some nights were cruel. He looked at her again. She was shaking. Slowly, Eli pulled the blanket from his shoulders. The cold hit him at once, sharp and sudden. He stepped closer and gently placed the blanket over her body, wrapping it around her shoulders and legs. The girl gasped softly as warmth touched her skin. The glow beneath her skin steadied, becoming softer and calmer. Eli sat back on his heels. "There," he said quietly. "That's better." Her eyes filled with something new. Not fear, not pain, something else. She lifted her uninjured hand with effort and reached toward him. Her fingers were long and slightly glowing. She touched his hand. The moment her skin met his, a faint light flashed between them. Eli felt a warmth move through his chest, not like heat but like a deep calm. It lasted only a second. Eli blinked. The girl's eyes widened. She looked at their hands, then at him as if surprised. She pulled her hand back slowly. Before either of them could speak, a low mechanical hum filled the air. Security drones. Red lights swept across the spaceport walls. The girl's body tensed. Panic filled her eyes. She tried to sit up but failed. Eli stood quickly and looked around. The drones were coming closer. If they found her, they would not ask questions. They never did. "You have to go," Eli whispered urgently. "They'll take you." The girl shook her head weakly. Eli looked toward the dark sky, then back at her. He did not know how, but he knew she had come from somewhere far away. Maybe someone was looking for her. He pointed toward the shadows beyond the landing zone. "There," he said. "Can you move?" She nodded slightly. With great effort, she pushed herself up. Eli supported her carefully, letting her lean on him. She was light, lighter than she looked. Together, they moved slowly toward the darker edge of the spaceport. The drones grew louder. Just before the light reached them, the girl straightened. She looked at Eli one last time. Her eyes were clear now, filled with something like gratitude. She pressed her hand to his chest, right over his heart. A soft glow spread briefly, then faded. She turned and disappeared into the shadows, moving faster than her injuries should have allowed. The drones swept past moments later, scanning the area where she had been. They paused, lights moving back and forth, then moved on. Eli stood alone in the cold. His blanket was gone. He wrapped his arms around himself and sat back against the wall. His teeth chattered, but he did not regret what he had done. He did not think of it as bravery. It was just a choice. Someone needed help. He closed his eyes and waited for sleep. When morning came, the city woke to screaming alarms. Eli opened his eyes as the ground trembled beneath him. A deep sound rolled through the air, not like engines he knew, but heavier, stronger. He sat up quickly. The sky above the spaceport was filled with shadows, ships, not human ships. They were massive, smooth, and glowing with symbols that moved like living things. They hovered silently, blocking the sun. People ran through the streets, shouting. Sirens wailed. Military vehicles rushed toward the spaceport. Eli stood, heart pounding. He had seen alien ships before, but never like this. Never this many. One ship descended slowly, landing where cargo ships once stood. The ground shook as it touched down. A ramp opened. Aliens stepped out, tall and calm, wearing armor that shimmered softly. They did not raise weapons. They simply stood and waited. Human soldiers surrounded them, weapons raised, voices tense. Eli stayed back, hidden behind a broken wall. From the largest ship, a figure stepped forward. This alien looked different, older, stronger. His eyes scanned the crowd, then the spaceport itself. He spoke, his voice carrying across the open ground, translated clearly by unseen technology. "We seek the human child," the alien said. "The one who gave warmth when death was near." Eli's breath caught. The alien continued. "He showed mercy when he had nothing. We must find him." Eli's heart raced. He looked down at his empty shoulders, then up at the sky filled with ships. For the first time in his life, the universe had noticed him, and it had come looking. The city was in chaos. People ran through streets, cars crashed, sirens screamed, and buildings shook slightly from the weight of the alien ships above. Eli stayed hidden near the edge of the spaceport, his body tense, heart racing. He had never seen anything like this. The aliens who had stepped out from the massive ships did not attack. They simply moved in a calm, orderly way, their glowing eyes scanning the area. But the humans did not understand calm. They saw only strangers in strange armor and feared the worst. Eli watched as soldiers shouted commands, their voices sharp and tense. Weapons were raised, but the aliens did not flinch. Instead, they spread out slowly, moving toward the city center in a way that seemed intentional but measured. Something about them was different. They were powerful but not cruel. Eli felt a strange mix of fear and hope. The girl he had helped last night had seemed fragile, but now he understood that her people were strong. A loud voice echoed from one of the alien ships. The voice was calm, deep, and carried over the crowd without effort. Eli listened closely. The words were translated by an invisible device, clear in his mind. "We do not come to harm this world," the voice said. "We come seeking one human. The one who showed mercy when mercy was not expected. The one who gave warmth to one of our own." The crowd whispered and stared. Eli's stomach twisted. Could they mean him? He had done nothing remarkable, only given a blanket to a weak girl who had needed it. But the aliens' words left no doubt. They knew. They were looking for him. Soldiers began to approach him, confused by the calm but terrifying presence of the aliens. Eli stayed crouched behind the wall, unsure what to do. If he ran, they would find him. If he stayed, the aliens might come to him anyway. The ground trembled as more ships landed, smaller than the first but equally strange and glowing. Hundreds of aliens emerged, and each one seemed to search with purpose. Eli's mind raced. The girl, her faint glow, her fragile body, the way she had touched his hand, it all made sense now. Somehow the girl had sent a signal, a call for help that these aliens had followed across the stars. Eli could hardly believe it. The universe had noticed him. Something beyond his understanding was happening. From the largest ship, the alien leader moved forward. His armor glimmered with shifting colors, like light traveling through water. He stopped at the edge of the crowd and raised his hand slightly. Instantly, the soldiers froze. Weapons lowered. The aliens' eyes scanned the gathered humans, then rested on Eli. Their gaze seemed to pierce through the chaos, reaching straight to him. "You," the leader said, pointing with a glowing finger. "Come forward." Eli's legs felt heavy. Every instinct screamed at him to hide, to run. But something in the alien's calm voice reassured him. Slowly, he stepped out from behind the wall. People parted, whispering and pointing. Eli's heart pounded in his chest. He could feel the weight of every eye in the city on him. The alien leader extended a hand toward Eli, a gesture of invitation. Eli hesitated. Could he trust this being? The city held its breath. Finally, with a deep swallow, Eli walked forward, each step feeling heavier than the last. The crowd fell silent as he approached. Soldiers watched, unsure, while other humans whispered among themselves. When Eli reached the alien, the leader knelt slightly, bringing his glowing eyes to the boy's level. Eli stumbled backward at the gesture. He had expected fear, anger, or commands. Instead, the alien showed respect. A deep calm radiated from him, filling the space around them. Eli could feel it. The girl's touch, the light he had seen last night, returned in a warmth that spread through his chest. "You have done what few humans could," the alien said softly. "You gave life when life was slipping away. You have shown the strength of your kind." Eli could not speak. His mind raced. Strength of his kind. He was a boy without a home, without family, without respect. He had done nothing heroic. All he had was a blanket, but the alien's eyes held certainty. They believed him. They believed in his choice. Suddenly, a soldier stepped forward, raising a weapon. "This is a threat," he shouted. "We don't know what they are. This child could be." The alien leader lifted a hand. The soldiers froze. The gesture was simple, but it held power. Weapons lowered. The leader's gaze returned to Eli. "No harm will come to you," he said. "You are under our protection." Eli's mind swirled. Protection? From what? From them, from the humans, from the dangers he had never understood. He took a hesitant step closer. The aliens around him seemed to recognize him, bowing slightly or lowering their heads. Their calm presence was a shield. For the first time, Eli felt safe. The alien leader spoke again, addressing the crowd. "This boy has shown the power of humanity in a way we have not seen before. His choice to give, without expectation, without fear, has bound him to our people. He carries a light within him that we seek." A murmur went through the humans. "Bound him to your people." What did that mean? Some were frightened. Some were amazed. But Eli understood in a way he could not explain. The girl he had helped, her touch, her weakness, her reliance on him, it had created a connection. That connection had brought the aliens here. One of the smaller aliens stepped forward, placing a hand gently on Eli's shoulder. "We will explain soon," the alien said. "But first, you must come with us." Eli looked back at the city, at the cold streets he had called home. He thought of his blanket, now lost to the night. He thought of the girl, fragile and glowing, who had trusted him. Slowly, he nodded. He could not explain what he felt, but he knew he could not refuse. The alien leader motioned, and a soft hum filled the air. A beam of light descended from the ship, glowing golden and inviting. Eli stepped into it, feeling a strange pull, like the warmth of the girl's touch returning. The crowd watched as he rose slowly, lifted off the ground without fear or pain, and entered the ship. Inside, the air was warm and calm. Lights glimmered softly, not harsh like city lights, but gentle and alive. The alien who had guided him nodded. "Do not be afraid," he said. "You have done what no one else could. Now you will learn why your choice matters." Eli looked out the window. The city shrank beneath him. The massive ships began to rise, casting shadows across the streets. People ran, watched, and whispered. The world he had known was changing. He could feel it in his chest, a mixture of fear and wonder. The stars above seemed closer now, brighter and more alive. Suddenly, a soft, familiar glow appeared in the corner of the ship. The girl, fully healed, sitting quietly, watching him with her dark eyes. She smiled, small and weak, but enough to fill Eli's chest with a strange courage. She reached out her hand. He hesitated, then took it. A soft light spread from their hands, filling the room, warm and steady. Eli felt something inside him shift. He was no longer just a boy on the streets. He was part of something larger, something beyond the world he had known. The aliens had come for him, yes, but more than that, they had come because of him. The leader spoke again. "Your choice was small in your eyes, but it changed everything. You have power not in your strength, but in your heart. That is what the universe respects." Eli swallowed, power in his heart. He did not feel strong. He felt cold, tired, small. But the girl's gaze, the warmth of her hand, and the calm presence of the aliens made him believe that perhaps he could do more than survive. Perhaps he could make a difference. The ships rose together, moving away from Earth's atmosphere. The city below looked tiny, chaotic, and fragile. Eli held the girl's hand tightly, feeling the bond they shared. He did not know what awaited him, what dangers or wonders the universe would bring. But he knew one thing: kindness mattered. Compassion mattered. Even a small act, a blanket, a touch, a choice, could echo farther than he ever imagined. The aliens who had come for him surrounded the ship in a protective formation. Eli watched the stars grow larger, closer, and brighter. He felt fear, yes, but also hope. For the first time, he believed that even someone like him, a boy who had nothing, could be important, that the smallest choices could change worlds. And somewhere far away, the rest of the universe was watching, waiting, and perhaps, just perhaps, learning what humans could be. Eli sat inside the alien ship, still holding the girl's hand. The walls glowed softly, alive with moving patterns that shifted like water. He had never seen anything like it. Machines hummed around them, but it was not a cold hum. It was gentle, almost alive. The girl, fully healed now, smiled at him faintly, and for the first time, Eli felt he was not alone. He had left the streets, the cold, the empty nights behind, but he did not yet understand where he had gone or why. The alien leader approached. His armor shimmered softly, colors moving like sunlight on water. "You have done what few humans could," he said. "You have shown mercy when it was not expected. That mercy has created a bond stronger than weapons or technology. That bond links you to her and through her to our people." Eli's head spun. He barely understood the words. Bond, stronger than weapons. I just gave her my blanket," he said quietly. "I didn't do anything special." The leader's eyes glowed faintly. "To you it may seem small. To the universe it is vast. Simple choices can change outcomes across worlds." The girl nodded. "He saved me when I could not move. That choice, it allowed me to return home." Her voice was soft but clear, translated in Eli's mind. "And it bound me to him in a way no one else could undo." Eli looked down at his hands. He felt warmth still lingering where hers had touched him. Something pulsed inside, faint but steady. "I don't understand," he whispered. "How does one blanket do this?" The alien leader smiled faintly, not unkindly. It is not the blanket, it is the choice. Your heart, your courage, your compassion, that is what matters. The universe recognizes it. Eli tried to take it all in, but before he could think further, an alarm sounded across the ship. Lights flashed red and the calm hum shifted into a low, urgent vibration. The girl's eyes widened. "They are here," she said quickly. "The ones who hunt us, they are close. They will arrive soon." Eli felt his stomach tighten. "They who?" he asked. The aliens around him moved faster, preparing something he could not yet see. The leader's calmness remained, but it was sharper now. Focused, purposeful. "They are hunters," the leader explained. "A species that fears the bond we share. They attack when they sense it. And now Earth is known to them." His gaze turned to Eli. "They do not know humans yet, but they will learn, and that knowledge could cost us all." Fear prickled across Eli's skin. He had lived with hunger and cold, but fear like this was different. It was not for himself. It was for the city, for the people he had never known, for the girl who had trusted him. He had no weapons, no armor, no training. Just a bond he did not yet understand. One of the smaller aliens approached, holding a device that pulsed with soft light. They gestured for Eli to touch it. Hesitant, he reached out. The moment his fingers brushed the surface, the light spread into him, filling his chest with warmth and a strange energy. He could feel the ship moving around him, alive in ways he had never imagined. Machines answered him, responded to his emotions, to his courage, to his compassion. Eli blinked. I can feel it," he whispered. "What is this?" "The bond," the leader said. "It allows humans like you to interface with our systems. Not through strength or knowledge or skill, but through your heart. Your choices resonate. Your empathy guides our technology. You are part of the defense now." The words were overwhelming. Eli felt dizzy. He was just a boy who had survived by scavenging and hiding. He had never held power, never commanded anything, never mattered in the eyes of the city. And yet now the fate of his world rested on him. Before he could think further, the ship shuddered. A warning blared. Through the window, Eli saw distant shadows moving in space. Massive ships, darker than the stars themselves, moving toward Earth. The hunters. Their shapes were sharp, angular, alien in every way, and they moved with deadly intent. The girl squeezed his hand. "They have found us," she said softly. "They will not stop until they find what they seek. We need you, Eli." Eli swallowed hard. "Me, but I'm just a boy." "You are the one who chose life when it could have ended," the girl said. "Your heart gives us a weapon they cannot touch." The aliens around him prepared for battle. Machines shifted, morphing, glowing with energy as if alive. Screens displayed alien symbols that made no sense to him. And yet, when he focused on the bond, he could feel patterns, movements, instructions forming in his mind. His emotions guided the systems and the ship responded. It was terrifying and exhilarating. The leader stepped closer. "You will need to trust yourself, trust your heart. Fear will make the bond weaker. Courage will make it stronger. You have already proven you can choose rightly." Eli nodded, trying to steady his shaking hands. He had never felt responsibility like this, never felt importance like this. He had survived by hiding, by being invisible. Now visibility had become his power, and his fear threatened to overwhelm him. A sudden flash outside the window drew his attention. The enemy fleet had entered the solar system. Smaller craft detached, moving toward Earth, scanning, searching. Cities below were unprepared. Human armies moved, but they were no match for these hunters. Eli's chest tightened. Innocent lives like his own once were at risk. And yet he could feel the bond respond to his fear, to his hope. It pulsed like a heartbeat, a rhythm, a guide. He took a deep breath. I can do this," he whispered to himself. The girl looked at him, her eyes filled with trust. "We will try," she said. "Together." The ship responded. Machines lifted from their platforms, turning into tools, weapons, shields. Patterns glowed along the walls, creating a network of energy that hummed with life. Eli could feel each pulse, each wave moving as he willed it. His emotions shaped them. His courage, his fear, his hope, they all became commands. He was learning. Slowly, unsteadily, but learning. Outside, the enemy fleet continued its approach. The hunter ships were faster, more numerous, and clearly designed for war. Humans below panicked, scrambling to defend themselves, their weapons useless against what approached. Eli realized then that his city, his world, had never faced this before, and it might not survive without him. A sudden jolt rocked the ship. A warning blared. "They are closing," the girl said, her voice urgent. "You must act now." Eli's hands shook, but he focused. He imagined shields rising, defenses activating, the energy around him responding. Slowly, patterns formed, flowing outward. Light spread across the ship, then into the space around them, invisible to human eyes. Sensors flashed, alien symbols moved, and the bond pulsed like a living thing. His fear pushed him to try harder, to command stronger. He felt his heart beat in rhythm with the ship, with the girl, with the universe itself. The alien leader stepped back, watching him. "Good," he said quietly. "Do not stop. The bond is strong. It can hold them, but only if you believe." Eli swallowed. He could feel the enemy approaching, could sense their movement through the bond. They were calculating, ruthless, but unprepared for the human heart. He focused, imagining courage as a shield, kindness as a weapon. Slowly, the energy spread outward, connecting with the city below. Humans everywhere began helping each other without realizing it. Fear became cooperation, panic became order. The bond was stronger than he had imagined. He was not just controlling a ship, he was guiding hope itself. The first enemy craft neared, firing beams that cut through space. Eli hesitated. Then he focused, letting the bond guide him. Shields rose, bending the beams, absorbing the attack. His pulse raced. Every emotion mattered. Fear made the shield tremble, hope made it strong. He had never felt so alive, so terrified, so responsible. He had never mattered so much. The girl leaned closer, whispering encouragement. "You can do this, Eli. You are more than you know." Eli nodded. He let the fear flow into the system, let the hope flow in as well. Lights flared, energy spread, and the first ship of the hunters slowed. It shuddered, then retreated slightly. The bond responded to his courage, amplifying its effect. Other ships faltered. Machines, patterns, energy, everything he controlled with the bond was responding to him, to his choices, to his humanity. The alien leader's voice echoed softly. "Do not stop. Fear is natural. Courage is choice. Your choice will guide us." Eli clenched his fists. He could see the hunter fleet faltering, confused, unable to predict the power of the bond. Human lives, the city, the girl, everything depended on him. He felt small, yes, but important. His choice had begun a chain of events he could never have imagined, and the enemy, though massive and deadly, could not understand. They could not see the bond. They could not feel courage or kindness. Their technology was advanced, but it lacked what made humans humans. Eli realized then that the universe respected the heart, not only the hand, the weapon, or the mind. The girl squeezed his hand. "You are ready," she said softly. "Together we will protect them." Eli nodded. He felt fear, exhaustion, but also a strange calm. He had never been powerful before, never mattered. Now he had the most important power in the universe, the choice to care and the courage to act on it. The battle was not yet over, but the first step had been taken. The humans, the aliens, and the boy from the streets of the city had begun a fight that no enemy could understand fully. Eli stood taller, even in the fear, even in the uncertainty. The universe had noticed him, and he would not let it down. The stars above shone brighter than before, and somewhere, far away, the enemy watched, unaware that a boy's heart had already begun to turn the tide of the coming war. The enemy fleet moved closer, dark shapes against the stars, their engines cutting through space with silent precision. Eli stood on the bridge of the alien ship, holding the girl's hand tightly. His heart pounded and his stomach twisted. This was no longer about him. It was about the city below, the humans and the aliens who had trusted him. Fear pressed against his chest, but the bond with the girl pulsed stronger than before. It guided him, gave him strength, and connected him to the ship and its systems. Outside, the hunter ships closed in. They were massive, angular, and unlike anything humans had ever seen. Their surfaces absorbed light, making them almost invisible against the black of space. Weapons glimmered on their hulls, ready to fire. Every ship was designed for war, precision, and destruction. Eli swallowed hard. He had no idea how humans could survive against such a force. The alien leader approached, calm but firm. "You are ready," he said. "The bond you share is powerful. The enemy does not understand it. Your courage, your choices, your compassion, these are the weapons they cannot counter. You will guide the defense." Eli looked at the screens in front of him. Machines moved, shapes shifted, and energy formed patterns that seemed alive. He could feel the ship responding to his emotions. Fear made the energy hesitate, hope made it strong. The first hunter ship fired. Beams of deadly light tore through space toward Earth. Eli's chest tightened. He focused, imagining shields rising, energy bending, and the bond expanding outward. The beams met the shield, and for a moment it wavered. Then, strengthened by his courage, it held. "Keep going," the girl whispered. "You can do this." Her voice was steady, calming even in the chaos. Eli's hands shook, but he directed the energy, letting the bond flow. The ship responded. Shields expanded, pulses of light forming in patterns that connected with the city below. Humans everywhere, without knowing why, began helping each other. Fear became organization. Panic became cooperation. The bond reached through the hearts of everyone who cared, amplifying the defense. A sudden jolt rocked the ship. A hunter craft had broken through the outer formation and was heading directly for Earth. Eli felt the panic rise in his chest. He wanted to hide, to run, to do nothing. But the girl's hand squeezed his. Warmth spread from her to him, steadying his pulse. He focused again. His courage, his choices, his desire to protect, these became commands. Shields rose, bending the hunter's attack. It was slowed, then pushed back. The alien leader spoke softly. "Do not stop. The bond is strongest when you face fear and act anyway." Eli nodded. Sweat ran down his face and his legs shook, but he could feel the energy growing. The bond connected him to the ship, to the girl, to the humans, and to the patterns of energy spreading across the city. Every act of kindness, every brave choice, every small helping hand below strengthened the defense. He had never felt power like this, yet it was not his alone. It belonged to everyone who had chosen to care. Another hunter ship appeared, larger than the first, moving with terrifying speed. Its weapons glowed, and its presence alone seemed to drain warmth from space. Eli felt the fear rising again. His chest tightened, his hands trembled, but he remembered the cold night when he had given his only blanket to the girl. That small act of compassion had started this chain. He closed his eyes for a moment, imagining the warmth of that choice. The bond pulsed and the ship responded, energy bending around him, shields expanding, beams of light forming new patterns stronger than before. The girl leaned close. "You are ready for more," she said. "This is only the beginning, trust yourself." Eli nodded. His fear was still there, but he could feel something stronger, courage, hope, and the knowledge that choices mattered. He directed the energy, watching the hunter ships falter as the shields expanded. Patterns of light moved outward like waves, connecting with the city below, with humans who helped each other, with aliens around them. The enemy could not understand it. Their technology was advanced, but it could not measure the strength of human compassion. Suddenly, alarms blared. One of the hunter ships had broken through a weaker section of the shield. It moved quickly toward a human city nearby. Eli's pulse raced. The girl looked at him. "Focus on them," she said. "Use the bond." He closed his eyes and imagined every person in the city, every act of courage, every hand extended in kindness. The bond pulsed, expanding, reaching the enemy ship. Its engines stuttered, weapons failed, and it slowed. Eli opened his eyes. The ship responded instantly to his will. He felt the strength of the bond flow through him, the energy connecting humans and aliens alike. The alien leader watched, eyes glowing faintly. "Good. Do not let fear control you. Let courage guide you." Eli nodded, feeling the words as truth. He focused harder, willing the shields, the energy, the bond to hold. The enemy ships began to falter, confused, unable to anticipate the human heart guiding their defense. One by one, the hunters struggled against the unseen force. They fired blindly, but the bond anticipated, redirected, and protected. Below, humans began organizing spontaneously. Soldiers who had panicked earlier now helped civilians. Engineers moved quickly to repair infrastructure. People worked together instinctively, guided by fear, hope, and courage, the same emotions powering the bond. Eli felt it all flowing through him, shaping the defense, amplifying strength. One of the hunter ships fired a massive beam directly at the city. Eli felt panic rising. He clenched his fists, remembering the girl's hand, the warmth of the blanket, the first act that had started all this. He imagined courage and compassion as shields, hope as a weapon. The beam hit the energy field he controlled. For a moment, it wavered. Then, strengthened by his focus, it split into harmless streams, dispersing into space. The alien leader stepped closer. "You are learning," he said quietly. "The bond grows with every act of courage. Every human who acts with care strengthens it." Eli nodded. He could feel the enemy retreating slightly, confused, unable to comprehend the force guiding them. Fear and panic from the humans below were no longer weapons. They were transformed into strength through the bond. Every act of kindness, every brave choice, every moment of hope contributed. Eli's small heart, once invisible and unimportant, was now the center of a defense that could protect an entire planet. The girl smiled faintly. "You are stronger than you know," she said. "We can do this together." Eli swallowed hard. Sweat ran down his face, but he felt a strange calm. The bond pulsed steadily, energy flowing outward, connecting humans and aliens alike. The enemy fleet, powerful and relentless, was faltering. They could not understand what they faced. Their technology was advanced, but it lacked the one thing that mattered most, the courage and compassion of a human heart. The ships around them responded instantly, shifting into defensive formations, weapons ready but controlled by the bond. The enemy fleet moved with deadly precision, but Eli's guidance turned their attacks harmless. Every movement, every choice, every pulse of courage made the bond stronger. A sudden alarm blared again. One of the smaller hunter ships had slipped past the formation, heading directly toward a human city. Eli felt panic rise, but the girl's hand steadied him. He focused, imagining the people below, imagining courage as shields, hope as weapons. The bond pulsed outward, enveloping the city, redirecting the enemy ship. Its engines faltered, weapons failed, and it slowed. Eli opened his eyes, feeling the full strength of the bond, connecting humans, aliens, and himself in a force no enemy could touch. The alien leader nodded. "You are ready," he said softly. "This is only the beginning, but the bond is strong. As long as you choose courage, hope, and care, the universe will respond." Eli felt exhaustion, fear, and strength all at once. He had started as a boy who gave a blanket, invisible and alone. Now he was guiding the defense of an entire world. The stars outside the ship shone brighter, closer, alive with energy. The enemy fleet faltered, confused and weak against a force they could not understand. Eli took a deep breath. "I will not let them harm anyone," he whispered. "I will do this. We can do this." The girl smiled, warmth in her eyes. "Together," she said softly. The ships outside moved with precision, guided by the bond. Energy pulsed across the city below, strengthening humans and aliens alike. Every act of courage, every moment of kindness amplified the defense. The enemy fleet, though massive and deadly, could not comprehend the power of the human heart guiding them. Eli felt it all: fear and courage, hope and determination. The city below, the aliens around him, the girl by his side, they were all part of the bond. And through it he had become more than just a boy. He had become the center of a force that no enemy could fully touch, a force that could protect his world and perhaps change the universe forever. The enemy fleet had arrived. The battle had begun. And Eli, the boy who had given a blanket, was ready. The enemy fleet had retreated slightly, faltering under the strange force they could not understand. Eli stood on the bridge of the alien ship, still holding the girl's hand, feeling the steady pulse of the bond that connected them to the humans below. His chest was tight from exhaustion, his arms sore from holding on, but his mind was sharp. For the first time in his life, he understood that even a small choice could change the course of worlds. The alien leader approached, his glowing eyes soft now. "You have done what no human has done before," he said quietly. "You have guided the defense with your courage and compassion. The enemy retreats, but the battle is not over. You have shown the power of humanity." Eli nodded, still unsure how to process it all. He had started as a boy who gave a blanket, invisible in the streets, unnoticed by the world. Now he was part of a defense that had shaken an enemy across the stars. He looked out the window at the hunter ships retreating into darkness, their forms flickering like shadows in the stars. They were alive, dangerous, and yet they could not touch the human heart. The girl smiled faintly, squeezing his hand. "You did it," she said. "You saved them." Eli swallowed hard. "We did it," he corrected. "I couldn't have done this alone," the leader nodded. "You are right. The bond is not just yours. It connects humans, aliens, and choices across the universe. Every act of courage, every decision to care strengthens it. You have proven that humanity is more than survival. It is compassion, strength, and hope." Eli felt a strange calm wash over him. The bond pulsed steadily now, a living force that connected him to the girl, the aliens, and the humans below. The fear that had once gripped his chest was gone, replaced by a deep sense of purpose. He realized then that the universe had noticed him, and it had come to teach him, to guide him, and to show the strength of the human heart. Suddenly, a signal appeared on the main screen. Hundreds of smaller ships, alien in design but clearly not hostile, approached the fleet. The alien leader's eyes widened. "Reinforcements," he said. "They come not to attack but to witness, to honor your choices." Eli looked out the window. The new ships glimmered in the sunlight, their forms elegant and calm. They hovered silently above the city, observing the humans and aliens below. Soldiers, civilians, and city leaders paused, watching the strange sight. The streets were quiet now, organized and alive with hope. Humans helped each other, repaired damaged buildings, and guided the frightened to safety. The bond had reached them all. The girl turned to Eli, her eyes bright. "Your choice started this," she said softly. "Your courage made the universe notice humanity. They see what we have known all along. Humans are more than they appear." Eli felt tears prick his eyes. He had never been important, never mattered. Now his small act of kindness, the blanket, had echoed across the stars, saving lives and changing minds. He looked down at his hands, remembering the night he had given the girl warmth. That small, simple act had begun all of this. The alien leader spoke again. "Earth is safe for now. The enemy has retreated, confused and powerless against the bond. They do not understand it, cannot predict it, and will not try again soon. But the lesson remains. Compassion and courage are forces stronger than any weapon." Eli nodded. He felt the truth of it in his chest. The bond pulsed warmly, guiding him, steadying him, connecting him to the girl and to everyone who had acted with care. He realized then that the universe had been waiting for humans to show their true strength, and now they had. The girl stepped closer. "There is more to do," she said. "The humans below need help. The city is damaged and the people need guidance, shelter, and hope. You can help them." Eli nodded again. "I will," he said quietly. "I want to help." The alien leader smiled, a rare gesture for someone so powerful. "Then you will. Your actions will be remembered across the stars. Humanity will no longer be invisible. They will be honored, respected, and recognized. And you, Eli, will be their example." The ships descended slowly, landing near the city. Aliens emerged, offering assistance. Humans, guided by the bond, began organizing shelters, repairing buildings, and tending to the wounded. Soldiers worked with civilians, engineers with farmers, and children with elders. The city, once chaotic and fearful, transformed into a place of hope, unity, and strength. Eli walked among them, holding the girl's hand. He saw faces light up as the aliens offered guidance and support. Technology beyond anything humans had imagined was shared, used to rebuild, protect, and strengthen communities. The bond pulsed around him, guiding choices, amplifying courage, and inspiring hope. He realized then that even the smallest acts, helping a neighbor, offering food, showing kindness, could echo across the universe. The girl stopped beside a small plaza, looking up at Eli. "You have changed everything," she said. "Your choice, your courage, your heart, it has made humans honored across the stars. They will be remembered and they will be respected." Eli smiled faintly. "I just gave a blanket," he said. "I didn't know it would do this." She shook her head. "It was never about the blanket, it was about you, your choice, your compassion, that is what matters." The alien leader approached, standing beside them. "You have proven that humans are worthy allies. They are capable of greatness, beyond what they imagine. And you, Eli, have shown that even one small act of courage can change the fate of a world." Eli looked out at the city. People worked together, side by side with aliens. The streets were alive with hope and cooperation. Machines repaired damaged buildings, shields formed to protect the weak, and energy flowed through the city in patterns that connected humans, aliens, and choices. He felt the bond pulsing, steady and strong, linking him to everyone around him. A distant hum filled the air. The hunter fleet had disappeared, retreating into space, defeated not by weapons but by courage, hope, and human compassion. Eli realized then that the universe had changed. Humans were no longer invisible. Their actions, their choices, their hearts mattered. And he had been the one to show it. The girl smiled, her eyes soft. "They will come," she said. "Other worlds will watch. Some may fear, some may hope. But now Earth is known for what humans truly are, capable of courage, compassion, and unity. You have given them a gift, Eli. A gift of recognition and honor." Eli felt tears in his eyes. He had started as a boy alone in the streets, cold and unseen. Now he was part of something larger, something beyond imagination. His small choice, the blanket, the kindness, the courage, had changed the fate of his world. The alien leader spoke one final time. "You may choose now how to live, how to guide your people, and how to continue to show the universe the strength of humanity. The bond will remain and your actions will echo across the stars." Eli looked at the city, at the humans rebuilding, at the aliens assisting, and at the girl beside him. He smiled. "I want to help everyone," he said quietly. "No child should ever be cold, no person should ever feel invisible. I will make sure of it." The girl nodded. "And we will help," she said, "together." The sun rose higher in the sky, casting warm light across the city. The alien ships hovered nearby, calm and protective. The bond pulsed steadily, a living connection between humans, aliens, and the choices that mattered. The enemy had been driven away, not by weapons, but by courage, hope, and compassion. The universe had learned something new about humans. Eli stood tall, no longer invisible, no longer alone. He had given a blanket, and in doing so, he had given the world a gift it would never forget. Humanity was no longer just a name in the stars. It was a force to be respected, honored and remembered. And Eli, the boy who had once survived by hiding, had shown them the way. The stars above shone brighter, watching Earth differently. The universe had noticed, and humanity, guided by courage and compassion, was ready for whatever came next. The bond between Eli, the girl, and the aliens remained strong. It pulsed with life, hope, and unity. And somewhere in the distance, other worlds watched, learning that even the smallest acts of kindness could change everything. Eli took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the bond, the presence of the girl, and the strength of the humans below. The city was safe. The universe had learned, and he, the boy who gave his only blanket, had shown the true power of the human heart. The story of courage, kindness, and unity had begun. The stars would remember, and humanity would be honored forever.